See everyone tonight. I hope everyone's having a great week. And I see some of you are wearing green for St. Patrick's Day. I have my green shirt on under here. But anyway, since it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, I thought I'd give a fun fact about St. Patrick's Day. So, funny enough, the color of St. Patrick's Day was originally blue. Wearing green has become a staple of St. Patrick's Day, but the holiday was originally associated with the color blue. It's thought that the shift to green happened because of Ireland's nickname, the Emerald Isle. The green in the Irish flag and the shamrock, or clover. And so green ribbons and shamrocks were worn as early as the 17th century. So, fun fact about St. Patrick's Day. I'll now turn it over to our president, David Jones.
Thank you, Julian. I appreciate it. And let me let some more people in. I have a quick fun fact that maybe Giovanni and Chris will know is the first St. Patrick's Day parade that was known to be the first St. Patrick's Day parade was not in Ireland, but it was actually in America. And do you know where that was? Julian, you know?
New York?
No, that's what I would have thought. It was actually in a Spanish colony, and it's now called St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh, okay.
It's the first place it was ever done. So welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Davy Jones, the president of Queen City Toastmasters, and I would like to introduce you all to a few of the board members here. We have Julian, who started as our Sergeant-in-Arms. We have Natalie, who is our Vice President of Public Relations. She's the one that does all the social media that you see. We have Ali, Vice President of Membership. We have Turker Balut, who is our Treasurer, and I know there's another one. Oh, Elvis isn't here. Am I missing anyone else? We have quite a few board members.
Vanessa.
And Vanessa's not here either. So. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get this meeting started. Oh, here comes Elvis. Elvis is about to log on. He is our secretary of the club. And first, before we get started, I want to have Natalie, I believe, has a special announcement that she'd like to say something. Natalie?
I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. Is it about the speech contest generally, or okay?
Our fellow Toastmaster. About our fellow Toastmaster who's moving on. Yes.
Yes. So we had our speech contest last Thursday, and we participated, Balut and I. So I participated in topics and was the contest and prepared portion. And he won first place, so he's moving on to the area contest. So we hope you can join us on April 5th. And if you are able to join us, there's also, competing isn't the only way to participate. You can participate by serving as a judge or a timer. So we can share those opportunities so that you can join. For the table topics contest, I was second place. So it was an incredible learning experience, which I really enjoyed. And it was amazing. Even if you're not taking on a role, it's just amazing to come and watch all of the speakers and see what they've prepared, the creativity behind it. And also the table topics was really cool. One of the questions that I found was so challenging because we got to watch the other groups participate. So each of the areas. And one of the questions was, what did fall say to spring? And oh my gosh, I was so glad we were not in that group, but it just makes you think, and it will challenge you in new ways. So I encourage you to just sit in, even if you don't take on a role. And congratulations to Balut on first place at the club.
Thank you, Natalie. And I agree, that was one of the tougher questions. And I thought about it later because later on, we're going to do table topics here. And the question was, what did fall say to spring, or something like that, which would be a really tough answer. But we have a thing called the politician answer, where you basically just change the subject. And they were talking about the seasons. I would have said, what did spring say to fall? And I would have said, spring told David not to jump over the ladder and he fell. You know, you could change it that way, just play with words. So that'll be part of tonight. And speaking of that, I want to introduce some of our guests. We have Kiona Simone. You want to say hello and how you found out about Toastmaster and a little bit about yourself? I believe this is your first meeting here.
Hi, yes, this is my first meeting. So yeah, my name is Kiana Simone. I have been in the Charlotte area for about 5 years now. I am in the accounting field and I also do real estate as well, but my dad has been pushing me to get into Toastmasters. He got into it years ago at social services and yeah, he's been pushing me to get into it. And so I found you guys on Meetup when I was just doing some Google searching.
Perfect. Thank you. You're at the right place. So thanks for coming. And Giovanni, fellow Seminole, want to say hello and how you've heard? I believe you've been here before, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I was here a couple weeks ago, and it's Jovan, so that's okay. I'm actually a member of Atrium Health Toastmasters,
Okay.
so I know you guys have kind of merged temporarily. So
Right. All
Yeah.
right. So the E is silent, so it's Jovan. Easy
yeah,
enough.
it's silent. Hmm.
All right. And Chris, who is not a Seminole, do you want to say hello and how you heard about Toastmasters?
Hi guys, I've been in Charlotte for about 5 years now. Longest place I've lived all over the world. You think that's in the military. I knew about Toastmasters back in 2014, so I'm just looking to finally look into it now and possibly join a club in the near future.
Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you. And speaking of guests, we have some guests that have converted into members. And for that, I want to have Balut welcome them. Balut.
Hi, everyone. My name is Turkar Bulut. I am serving as our club treasurer at the moment. And I'd like to welcome Sean to our club. He became a member this week. So congratulations, Sean. And Jovan, I know you mentioned you're a member at the Atrium Health. I believe that's a recent addition to the Atrium Health Toastmasters family. So I know we've merged, but I'd like to extend a welcome to you here as well. So thank you for joining. As part of my treasurer responsibilities, I'd like to remind everyone that the club dues are due soon. To continue your membership from April through September, the dues are $75. I will share details on the how later in the chat. You can pay your dues via PayPal, Venmo, or send a direct check to me. I'll share my email address and these accounts shortly thereafter. They're due at the end of the month, but the sooner you get it to me, the better. And if I don't get it from you by the 23rd, I will start following up individually just to make sure that you still want to be part of the club. Thank you. Back to you, David.
Perfect. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Julian, who's going to be our Toastmaster of the night. This is his first time as Toastmaster, but he's going to do great. So go for it, Julian.
Hey, everyone. So first time as Toastmaster, a little bit nervous, but I think I got it. So my theme tonight is going to be health and fitness. It's something that interests me, and I think it's important right now. With COVID, hopefully coming to an end, I think it's something everyone should be concerned about, just being healthy and being, active in their lives. One stat that really stood out to me was that 78% of people hospitalized with COVID were overweight, and that was from the CDC. And 42% of the US population is considered obese. So it's just, I feel like it's something that gets overshadowed by some other issues. And so it's just, I think it's important for people to find their own way to be healthy and to, be active and diet, within reason and all of that stuff. So for me, I'm a competitive powerlifter. So that kind of keeps me, not only kind of gives me goals to shoot for and gives me something to push towards, but it keeps me active as well, and obviously keeps me pretty muscular. So but there's all kinds of ways that people can be active, and so that's just my theme for tonight. I'll give you some facts about that. So now I'm going to go ahead and recognize our grammarian, who is also our president, David Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Greeting fellow Toastmasters and guests. For the guest, this is a role. So this is how we start doing it. Like I said, everybody who's speaking is a role, and that's how you kind of start getting a Toastmaster. Now, as grammarian, I have two different roles. My first one is to listen to our filler words such as so, you know, these are words that we commonly use, that I commonly use as well. But we should pause and think about what we're going to say instead of saying just makes your speech sound a little bit better. The other thing I'm going to do is the word of the day. And usually whenever you have a speech or meeting that you're going to do, your boss might throw in something, say, hey, don't forget to bring up the XYZ account, and it messes you up, so you have to be prepared. So we like to throw in a word that you try to use in your meeting or in your speeches tonight as you talk. And my word of the day, since we are doing St. Patrick's Day, is leprechaun, which is an Irish folklore person. Everybody knows what a leprechaun is. So if you can use the word leprechaun somehow in your speeches tonight or your general conversation, that would be great. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. So now we're going to go on and recognize the timer, who is Mina.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Mina, and I'll be your timer for this evening. As a timer, I'm going to time all the speeches, the evaluators, and table topics. And I let them know about how much time they have left. I'm going to show it with changing my background. For the table, for the speeches, we have 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I change my background to the green, at 6 minutes to yellow, and at 7 minutes to the red. Red means that they are done with the time, but they still have 30 seconds in order to wrap up the speech. For the table topics, we have 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, my background is going to be green. At 1.5 minutes to the yellow, and at 2 minutes to the red. They still have 30 seconds to wrap up the speech. And for the evaluators, we have 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, my background changed to the green. At 1.5 to the yellow, and at 2.5 to yellow, and at 3 minutes to the red. And still they have 30 seconds to wrap up the speech. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mina. Excellent explanation of the role. So now we're going to go ahead and go into the speaking portion of the meeting. And it looks like we have 2 speeches tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first speaker. And we will go ahead and get started. So first speaker is Angelica. And her speech is called Why You Need Plants in Your Life. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Angelica.
Thank you. Good evening. So tonight I want to talk about a hobby that has become very special in my life. So I am a plant lover. I am one of those people that has joined these large and growing plant communities online. I downloaded a couple of apps in my phone to help me to take care of my plants. And I even gave name to some of my plants. So let me introduce you. Here is Frida, Agatha, Araminta. So yes, I'm one of those people. But the reason for these names can be a topic for another night. Tonight, I want to talk about why I become a plant lover. So I believe that this started on my childhood, watching my mother taking care of her plants. I remember as a little girl, she will spend time off from her work taking care of her plants. She will clean them, she will trim them and water them. They're beautiful. And she still does. I remember 5 years ago, I sent her as a gift an orchid. Can you remember that she still has it? She still has it, and it grows every time, again and again. So I asked myself, and actually my mother and I recently developed this special relationship between two of us when we talk about our plants. So I asked, and recently I became a plant lover. So I asked myself, why just now? Why it took me so long? So here are a couple of reasons. First, as I'm taking care of my plants and learning about them and seeing them growing, I realized that they have become a distraction for me and a relaxing therapy. Even I believe that I have become a more positive person. So I believe that my plant has this hobby with my plant has a lot to do with it. Another reason is because I believe that I never believed that I got the same talent that my mother had to keep them alive. Well, it's true that many of them, or some of them, has died under my care. It is also true that I have kept many of them alive, 2 of whom have been with me for more than 10 years. And I said whom because they have become part of my life. They bring me joy, and I feel and I believe that they deserve an identity, even a name. So at the past couple of years, I decided to give it a try, and I have been expanding my family of plants. Now I have about 20 or maybe more around my house, and they are all still thriving. So that's good. The third reason is because I know the importance of plants for my profession. I am an interior designer, and I have designed multiple spaces. I do commercial environments. And my goal for all these projects is create spaces that can improve people's lives. Because my job is not only create these beautiful spaces, but also create environments that are dedicated to the well-being of the communities where we live. Let me ask you the question. Do you know the portion in average of days that we spend inside a building? Take a guess. Anybody?
Like
10%? Well, we spend between 80% to 90% inside buildings, indoors. And there are multiple factors that can affect our health as we interact in these spaces, both positively and negatively. In fact, there is a term that is called SBS, Sick Building Syndrome. And this term describes the situation in which occupants of a building can experience health effects that may be linked to the time spent inside this building. For example, in an office environment, negative effects can cause illness, absenteeism, lack of productivity, among others. Now, there are multiple factors and recommendations that can be used as a preventive measures, but the one that I want to focus the most is the use of plants and indoor gardens to help alleviate many of these factors. There are multiple studies that have proved that plants not only provide aesthetic benefits, but they have remarkable effects on people's creativity and productivity levels. They can help to improve the perception of the space. They can improve your concentration. They can help reduce pollutants. They can help increase the temperature, the humidity, and control the temperature. They improve the air quality of the space, even the acoustics. So there are so many benefits from plants. They actually enhance our life, which I believe it is very important, especially now as the urbanization of our communities continues to grow so rapidly. So here is the bottom line. as I keep working in my journey as designer, trying to create these meaningful and responsible spaces, I am trying to apply these concepts to my own life. And the best way that I have found is to take care of my green friends, who you see all here. I have a few more around. So I am inviting you to go and buy a plant if you don't have one already, and give a good care to them because it's worth it. In fact, there are doctors that now prescribe plants rather than drugs to some patients with anxiety and depression problems. So I am just want to remind you that if you buy a plant and you place it in your office or place it in your home, I am sure that they are going to provide positive changes in your life. Thank you.
Great speech, Angelica. I don't think you planned it, but it really ties into my theme as well with, plants and, helping the air quality and your productivity and, reducing toxins, reducing anxiety. So I thought that was interesting. Definitely a good way to have, a more healthy environment. So, and also I wanted to say, I meant to say at the beginning, this is Angelica. She's doing dynamic leadership, and it's level 1. And it was a 5 to 7 minute speech. All right, so we have one more prepared speech tonight, and that is Ali Tobin. And he is doing dynamic leadership level 3 elective, and his speech title is 3 Steps to Success. I will now turn it over to Ali Tobin.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and fellow guests. Tonight, I want to give you guys 3 easy steps to success. I'm going to show you how I apply this stuff to my life and how you can apply this stuff to your life and use it every single day. It does not matter what situation you're in. It does not matter if you're wealthy or if you're not well off. Anybody can do this. This stuff is very simple. And the reason why I chose to give this speech is because I'm starting to notice a pattern when I come across a lot of people. A lot of people are walking around this world lost, not having a way, not having a sense of direction. And I coming from a person who didn't have a sense of direction a couple of years ago, I can tell you I know how that feels. But I can tell you how to come out of that just by applying simple, small things to your life that will help you become successful. Now, I just want to ask a question real quick. You guys can come off mute. Do you guys know where lost dreams go? Does anybody know where lost dreams go?
The graveyard.
100% right. You're 100% right. Lost dreams go to the graveyard. You guys want to know where the wealthiest people, the ideas, the biggest dreams, straight to the graveyard, And I want you to think about that, right? Because some of the most smartest, talented, gifted people, they die and they don't pursue those dreams and those goals. But it's the way to come out of that to be the best version of yourself while you're here on this earth. Now, 3 easy steps that you could do and apply to your life right now. When I was lost, I had to ask myself, I said, okay, who am I, right? What do I want to do? How am I going to do it? It's 3 easy things. I said, who am I? Okay, I'm Ali Tobin. That's who I am. I look at myself in the mirror every day. I'm Ali Tobin, right? What do I want to do? I want to help people, right? I want to own over 500,000 units of real estate. It's that easy. How I'm going to do it? Every person I come across, I'm going to try to help them. I'm going to try to be a positive impact on my family. I'm going to try to be a positive impact on my friends. I'm going to come to Toastmasters and give speeches. Literally, every person I meet, I'm trying to motivate, I'm trying to help them in some sort of way. And then I got to the point, I said, okay, how am I going to get in real estate? I couldn't find my way. I said, okay, I learned about wholesaling. I started wholesaling. I said, okay, I can start building capital. Now, once I start building my capital up, I can go into multi-unit and start buying an apartment complex. It was that easy to figure out who I am, what I want to do, and how I'm going to do it. And if you guys can get those 3 things packed down, you have nothing to worry about. Because like I said, lost dreams are going to the graveyard because a lot of people, they don't know who they are. They don't have a sense of themselves. They don't know what they want to do, and they don't know how they're going to do it. But it's an easy way of just fixing all of that stuff and just getting unstuck. So I'm going to tell you how you can do it. Get yourself a notebook. Get yourself a pen. Take this notebook. This may take you an hour to figure this stuff out. Write down who you are. Just start writing stuff about yourself. What type of person you want to be, right? What do you want to do career-wise? What type of impact do you want to have on the world? And just put, how are you going to do it? And just take action. It's just that simple. If you get those 3 things figured out, you have nothing to worry about in life. If you just take action out those 3 things. And see, these are conversations that you guys need to have with your family. These are conversations that you guys need to have with your friends. You need to be asking every single person around you these conversations because you want to be around people who know who they are, know what they want to do, and know how they're going to do it. You want to be around people who are waking up every day on a mission because their life means something and their dreams are not going to go to the graveyard. Because when you die, the only thing that matters is the legacy you live on other people. You know, the day you was born is the day you died. It's that middle mark. And that middle mark is your legacy. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this with your family or your friends. Natalie, where are you? Can you please come off mute?
Off mute.
Okay, Natalie, who are you?
I'm Natalie.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I want to spread well-being to all.
Okay, and then how are you going to do it?
I am doing that 1 spoonful at a time through my company, Miss Afrisca, and wellness coaching.
Okay, fantastic. You're taking action. I love that. Guys, you guys got to start having those type of conversations with your friends and your family. And you got to hammer this stuff every single day. You got to keep this mission in your mind because you got to get up with a sense of purpose, right? You got to get up with a sense of I'm living my life. I'm not just existing every day. I'm living my life because I have a sense of purpose. I don't care what your purpose is. You can want to make chicken all day long and say, I'm going to be the best chicken seller. Hey, if that's your purpose for living, just have a purpose. But you guys, man, you gotta do that to yourself. You gotta do that to your friends and your family. Because if you don't do that, you'll be lost and you'll not have a way. But if you can get those 3 things figured out, I'm telling you, you can have a life of abundance and all your dreams can come true. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ollie. It's a great speech. So relating that to my theme, one of the biggest aspects I think of being successful and being disciplined is one part of that is sleep. I found that I feel so much better and my training is better in powerlifting and I'm more productive at work. All of that if I sleep well. So all around, sleep can improve your immune function, your concentration, and productivity, and it can also help you lose weight. And relating that to what Ollie said, I mean, really successful people have those things under control. So I think that's one thing to think about for everyone. So anyway, Ollie, great speech. So that wraps up our prepared speeches for the night. So I will go ahead and ask for a timers report.
Yes, Angelica, she had 7 minutes and 3 seconds, and Ali had 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Both are qualified.
Thank you, Mina. So at this point, we're going to transition into the fun part of the evening, and that is our table topics. So I will go ahead and turn it over to our table topics master, Avinash, and let him explain table topics, and then we can go from there. Go ahead, Avinash.
Thank you, Julian. Good evening, Toastmaster Julian, fellow Toastmasters, and respected guests. I'm Avinash Singh, and I'm going to be the table topic master for today. So for the benefit of all, let me explain what the table topic is. So in this section, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, maybe 3 or 4 questions, as per the time allows. And I will pick random. You can also volunteer yourself, if you want to answer a question. Typically, the answer should be within 1 to 2 minutes, as Amina already explained the duration of it. So it has to be impromptu answer. So that's the format of these sections. So I'll go ahead and ask my first question. So basically my question is going to be around today's theme, which is health and fitness. So my first question is, any volunteer for the first question before I ask this? Or I can, okay, let me choose myself. Okay, let me go to Parvinder. Parvinder, the question to you is, what comes to your mind when we talk about health and fitness?
What comes to my mind when I hear about health and fitness? Multiple things. I think few and couple of them are a healthy body, healthy mind, exercising, and exercising apparels like shoes, workout clothes. And I was also thinking about Leprechaun. He looks very funny wearing the coat and the hat. So there are so many things that comes to my mind. And I think the primary reason that I'm saying this is because I try to spend some time during the day, not a lot, doing either walk or maybe running, and sometimes spending time inside my house, doing 5 to 10 minutes meditation. And having a routine of doing things really helps. And also scheduling things. So as such, like that, you get up in the morning, you go for a 5 minutes or 10 minutes walk or stretch a little bit. So, relating, scheduling things or triggering things as you get up in the morning or sleep before or go to bed, or taking a break in the afternoon, that everything combines, create a good health if you have schedule around things. Back to you, Avinash.
Absolutely. And I especially like the part of your answer, apparel, the gear, shoes and all. Yeah, that's really, interesting. That's something, I can also relate to. Great, good stuff, Parvinder. So any volunteer for a second question? Otherwise, I'll choose myself. Okay, I don't see any volunteer. So my next question goes to you, Balut. You are the next one. So my question to you is, what are your health and fitness goals for 2021? I think you are talking on mute, Balut. You need to come out of mute. Yeah.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
What are my health and fitness goals for 2021? As part of the benefit of working from home, I save about an hour and a half each day of commute. Because we started working from home, I've now decided to use that time to just work out 3 times a week. And this is the most consistent I have ever been in terms of working out. And I want to keep that streak going. I've been working out for 3 times a week for the last 6 weeks. I want to keep that all the way until the end. Another goal I have is continuing my meditation streak. Right now, I'm on my day 114 of meditation in a row, 14 days of meditation in a row. I want to see that through to 365. those are my 2 goals. I can't quite see whether I qualify or not, but those are my goals. Keep up the exercise routine and keep up the meditation routine.
No, that's
Thank you. Back to you. Table
Let me
topics
make
master.
sure I heard that correctly. You said 114 days in a row without a single day of break for meditation. Wow, that's an inspiration. I think if I talk about myself, and I'm also on the same journey. Today I completed 15 days in a row for meditation. I'm also trying, but I'm far behind you, will lot to catch up. Great answer. I'll go to my third question. Any volunteer? Somehow today nobody is coming forth for answering the question. Okay, I'll pick up my next question. The next question goes to you, Meena. The question is, what kind of exercises do you like?
Okay, thank you for your question. I usually do both aerobic and resistance exercise. My goal is to do 300 minutes aerobic per week and 2 to 3 times doing resistance exercise. I usually hit my target. It's, I think, over 5 or 6 years that I'm doing the same. But the only thing that's missing is the meditation. This is something that I really like in order to add. I was looking for several apps to add to my schedule, but it's not make it as a routine yet. But I plan to do it in the future. The other thing that I'm a little bit not good at it is the flexibility exercise, the warm up and cool down, because usually I'm doing everything in rush. So I spend less time for doing the flexibility exercise, warm down and cool down. And this is another thing that I need to work on this. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Perfect, great. I think you're right. Most of us, when we think about health and fitness, the physical or outside thing comes to our mind. More often than not, we tend to ignore the mental fitness, and that's where the meditation comes into the picture. I think if you talk about the mental fitness, meditation, I guess, is the only thing that can build those mental muscles, if I may call so. Great. I just want to come back to you to see how we are doing with respect to time. Is there a room for another question, or should we move to the next section?
Yes, thank you. So for the table topics, Parvinder spends 1 minute 33 seconds. Balut spent 1 minute 24 seconds, and I spent 1 minute and 34 seconds. All of us are qualified. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Is there room for more questions, or should we move to the next section, Meena?
We have time for one more.
Okay, great.
And you can if you can call in a guest if any guests want to do it.
Yes. Any guests? I guess we have 2 guests today. Any volunteer from the guest for the next question? Okay. Next question goes to you.
Make it easy by throwing out the question first and then let them volunteer.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Let me ask the question, and then guest can, choose who wants to answer that. So my next question is, what is your favorite memory from your St. Patrick's Day that comes to your mind? Chris or Kiona, I think these are two guests. Anybody wants to answer this question? Okay, question goes to you.
I'm sorry, I did not hear the question. I had to just run in the other room for a second.
So the question is, what is your favorite memory from St. Patrick's Day that comes to your mind when we talk about St. Patrick's Day?
Okay. Yeah, so I actually do not have a lot of memories of St. Patrick's Day. I can only remember celebrating it in school. And so my, I guess, best memory of St. Patrick's Day would be in school having little parties, wearing the hats and having snacks and cookies to celebrate it. However, I have not celebrated St. Patrick's Day as an adult. So all of my memories have been mostly childhood memories.
Great. Good. I guess, thanks, Kiona. I guess with this question, we come to the end of our table topic master section. I'll give the control back to you, Julian. Over to you.
Thank you, Avinash. Those some really good questions related well to the theme and also to St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. So I'm just going to throw out another tip going along with my theme. So for me as a powerlifter, I'm constantly lifting really heavy, and then I have a job where I sit at a desk. And one really good tip is for people that have a fairly inactive job is to take like 3 times during the day and just get up and walk for like 10 minutes. And it's really good for just loosening up, and then also if you do it after you eat, it helps with digestion, and it also I tend to feel sort of drowsy around 1 to 2 o'clock, and it'll really make you less drowsy, because when you move around like that, you have endorphins that are released in the bloodstream, and it really wakes you up. So it's a good tip for people at work. So after table topics, we come to our evaluation section of the meeting. And I'm going to turn it over to our general evaluator, Wells Hall.
Thank you, Julian. For the benefit of the guests, the general evaluator's goal is to evaluate the whole meeting, and then the process to recognize the 2 evaluators who will recognize and evaluate the 2 speakers. And then after that, I'll recognize the grammarian and the timekeepers, and of course you'll vote on the 2 evaluators, and then I'll give some comments about the entire meeting. The purpose of our evaluations are to be constructive. We're all here for self-improvement. We're not here to beat up on each other, but to give constructive criticism and help each other improve. With that, let me recognize Avinash, who is our first evaluator, and who will recognize speaker 1, who is Angelica, why you need plants in your life. Avinash.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator Wells. So I think, Angelica, I evaluated your speech 2 weeks back, and I had shared, feedback. It was really good to see that you took the feedback into account, and I could see that, one of the feedback was to use the facts, and then, your topic was why we need plants in life. There was so much that we could tell, and you could really, I could see you use the feedback, and it was, I could see in your speech that you have used the facts and all. So few of the things that I look for, in good speech are, structure to the speech, how engaging, you are, you are engaging the audiences in the speech, what is the body language, and then usage of facts. These are some of key things that I look in a good speech. So I think you used all of this pretty good in your speech. The starting was very good. Your body language was positive. You seemed very engaged while speaking, and you were very expressive. So all good points that I liked about your speech. There was a flow, and I think, like I said, there was a structure, there was a story in that. There was a flow in it. You used the facts, there were good usage of them. And yeah, you engaged with the audiences. You were prompting, you were asking, questions, you were trying to, make sure the audiences are involved. So that was good. Plenty of, personal life experiences and examples. That was good. Yeah, I think, and of course, like the whole speech was very, very inspiring, and it was very, very good to listen and be throughout the speech. All good stuff. I mean, to be very honest, I couldn't find any any areas of improvement or any negative thing that I could speak. So yeah, I think it was very pleasant and good to see you improving from last to this speech. Excellent stuff. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Avinash. Our second evaluator is Natalie, who will evaluate speaker number 2, who 3 steps to success. Natalie?
Thanks, Wells. I have the pleasure of evaluating Ali tonight, and points on the green sweater. It's a nice shade of green, not leprechaun green. I love the title of your speech, 3 Steps to Success, because it made it very clear what you were going to outline for us this evening. And then you walked us through it as you opened up and why you were sharing the 3 steps to success and why it's so important to you, because you later laddered it back to your mission. I like that you also shared with us an observation. I thought that made it very strong. You were relatable in sharing about yourself, but also through the observation, you shared how you've observed other people in the world. So this isn't just an Ali situation. This is multiple people that you've encountered that we can all relate to because we've either been there ourselves or know someone going through the journey. And I liked how you encouraged us to have these honest and open conversations with people in our lives. And you shared your values with us. Your energy is always motivational and inspiring. And I would challenge you before speaking, as we've been speaking about breath work tonight, to do some breath work to just harness that energy. I love that you were standing and you're very dynamic, and you were doing a little bit of a salsa shift from time to time. So I think a little bit of breath work before taking the stage can help to get you just keep that high energy, but in a more stable way. And something that you can do is a full breath is 8 on the inhale, 8 on the exhale. So a few rounds of that can get you prepared. I like that the steps that you gave us were very actionable. So it was clear. You walked us through the 3 areas where we could improve and the 3 questions that we should be asking ourselves. And then you used me to demonstrate, which I thought was great from an audience engagement standpoint. You also engaged us at the beginning when you asked where dreams go. And I thought that on the exercise where you gave us the actionable points, a way to strengthen that is to slow down. You qualified at 5 minutes and you had a little bit more time. So you could probably lengthen that area where you had the audience engagement just to allow for a little bit more interaction. And then as you outline the points, just to give people a little bit more time to either think or have the opportunity to write down. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic speech. I'm inspired, and keep going. You're just getting better each time. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you, Natalie. So let's have our timekeeper report, Mina, on our evaluators.
Yes, thanks, Bill. Avinash had spent 2 minutes 35 seconds and Natalie 2 minutes 40 seconds. Both are qualified. Back to you.
Let's vote on our favorite evaluator. Both of them were excellent, I thought. And now let's go to our grammarian, David, our president. And I think you will present the accounting report too, perhaps, David?
Yes, thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Let me start with, I only got 2 leprechauns, I think. I got one from Natalie and one from, where is the Parvinder? But it was kind of a hard word to work into your conversation. Now, whenever we do the Oz again, it's not to criticize people on their uses of words. It's just to make you think about it. In fact, now, especially the guests, what I've learned is when you watch the news or you hear politicians talk, you're going to realize how many times they say ah or so or It's kind of an interesting thing that you'll see, and you just become more aware of it. And that's why we pointed out. Angelica used the word so muy grande. Is that right? A lot? That seems to be your word that you go to a lot. Our Toastmaster, you got them all. We'll just leave it there. And let me see. Don't say And our, where is he? Sorry. Too many notes. Oh, Avinash. Your word or your little phrase is you know. You say you know to pretty much everything, and that's something you should be more conscious of. Just stop and pause. In fact, one of these days we're going to hear a speech from Elvis. Elvis is a master at pausing. He just will stop and he'll think about it, and he'll hardly ever say a filler word. And same with Mina. Mina, I didn't hear any filler words from you. You obviously stop and you think about every single word you say. So you came out perfect. But the main word, and I use it all the time, is so. And I'm trying to think if there was any other words, but I don't think so. So everybody was pretty good, but we all still have a few so's and buts and ums that we need to work on. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, David. Those are very, very good points and good work. General evaluation of the meeting. As I mentioned at the last meeting, I believe, or one of the earlier meetings I attended, this is a very dynamic club. I mean, you're fun people. You relate to each other well. And Julian, for the first time as the Toastmaster, you win the prize. You did a great job. You had a theme. You were well prepared. You helped with the transition from one speaker or one part of the program to the next. You have great presence. That is to say, on a virtual setting, you come across well, as if I was watching you on TV, okay? I would imagine that in an in-person setting, you have even more presence. You need to appreciate that, work on it, and continue to improve. One thing, this is constructive, you have a tendency in a virtual setting to look away from the camera. In other words, you're looking over to the side when you're speaking to the group. Figure out a way to get, if you have notes, to get those up where you can maybe look down at them, but look right at the camera and look at us in the eyes. I think you'll maximize your presence, and everyone will appreciate that even more. The theme really was carried throughout the meeting. I thought the 2 evaluators were excellent. I mean, one would have had a hard time picking the better one because they spoke to the speakers, they told them constructive things and how they could improve. They had given it a lot of thought, and both of you are obviously experienced evaluators, and you did a good job. I think that I've hit all the buttons in my role as general evaluator, and unless I've passed the baton to the wrong person, I'll pass it back over to Julian, and if that's wrong, he can pass it on to David.
Thank you, Wells. Really good general evaluation. I appreciate the criticism and compliments to me as well. Definitely nervous to do Toastmaster, but I think it went pretty well. So now I'm gonna go ahead and ask for the winners of our different sections.
Everybody's a winner, but we have favorites. Our favorite evaluator tonight was Natalie Alberto. So congratulations, Natalie. And for the guests, I don't know if you've done Zoom, but we do our jazz hands for clapping. It's the thing we do. Favorite table topics person was Balut. Congratulations, Balut. Want to point out you were talking about exercise and how much you exercise, but you're on your phone and I could see your background. Looks like you have a pull-up bar with some clothes hanging on it. Guess you're not using the pull-up bar. Can't see it now with that one. And our favorite speaker of the night was Ali Tobin with his 3 keys to success. So congratulations, Ali. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right. So that pretty much brings the meeting to an end. We're a little bit early with only 2 speakers, but if anyone has anything to add or say about the meeting, you can go ahead. And if not, I'm going to turn it over to David Jones, our president.
Thank you, Julian. You did a great job tonight as your first time as the Toastmaster of the night. And Wells, you did a magnificent job too. So I appreciate your participation. Kiona, are you available? Any thoughts or feedback about tonight's meeting for your first meeting here?
Yes, I am available. Yeah, I thought that the meeting was good. I really enjoyed listening to all of the speakers. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
We hope to have you come back. And Chris, any thoughts on your first time too?
Yep, I enjoyed it. I really like to see this group in person.
Yeah. Now, are you local in Charlotte, Chris?
I live 2 miles from the stadium north.
Perfect. All right. So we are over at the Vine, which is, I forget the name of the church, but hopefully next month we'll be back in there. And I want to see if there's any officers, any reports from anybody, anything I'm missing? No? Andy?
Oh, yes. All guests. And if you guys want to become part of the club, you can feel free to send me your information. I'll check out to you. We encourage you to become a part of the club, as this is something that I feel will have a positive impact on everybody's lives.
Thank you, Ali. I agree. I think everybody that joins gets positive. And Eric, who is president of AM Lockport, any thoughts from you? Nice and bright out. I love the daylight savings time. It used to be just Wells with the nice background, but now we all have light outside.
Hey, it's not that bad out here tonight. So it's very cool, but very overcast, but nice. But anyway, I love coming to this club. Everybody is so well prepared. I saw some of the speeches and everybody was fantastic. They spoke well. They had, the stamina. I'm seeing people standing up. That's really good. So if anybody who's like, want to do more standing, do that, because that is so effective in your speeches. So kudos to everybody who has done really well tonight. And also one thing, we are doing a triple feature open house next week with 3 clubs, Buffalo Flyers in downtown Buffalo, AM Lockport, and the one called Rhetorical Roar. So if anybody would like to come to a open house, come to one, you can come to all. Let me know, and we will definitely set you up with all the information to come on to our open house next week. So thank you.
Thank you. And one more thing, Natalie, before we go, do you want to give a shout out to what our Facebook and Instagram pages are so people can follow your awesome work that you've been doing?
Yeah, thanks, David. So if you don't already, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Queen City Toastmasters. And there you can see what the latest meeting themes will be and just what's going on with the club. So we hope you'll follow us. And if any of you are interested in being featured on the page, please reach out to me as well. We are going to be introducing the board, and then it would be neat to introduce members as well. So if you are open to it, I'd be happy to interview you either briefly on the phone or via email. I can send you some questions, and then we can spotlight you on our social media channels.
Perfect. And Natalie, if you can stay after, I have thoughts I wanted to just roll by you after the meeting.
I won't be able to, but can
Next week's
send-
meetings, we'll do it then. All right, and at 7:30, I think it's the first time we are going to end on time, so I'd like to call the meeting to a close, but if you want to stay after for the post toasties and say hello, you can. I know Ollie wants to go take off his sweater, so he's going to leave, but I just want to say goodnight to everyone, and thanks for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thanks,
season.
everyone. Good night.
Good night, good night. Wells, did you get the information from Balut?
Yeah, I think I copied it down right.
Okay.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
If you go on the Facebook site, does it also have a link to it, or? I was wondering.
A Facebook site to a link to what?
To join to membership.
No, not really.
Probably not.
Pretty much you just have to contact Balut the way it is now. There's no,
Got it.
don't really have any links on anything other than just go through Balut.
Got it.
Hey, David,
Yes, sir.
I want to propose myself for timekeeper for the next meeting.
Okay.
But I'm just not sure, like, how do people, change this background? Is there like some functionality in the Zoom?
Yes. If you go to our YouTube channel, I have a video on how to be a timer. Do you know where the link is to our YouTube channel?
I think you sent it once. I have that. Yeah.
I mean, it's just something basically on your computer on the bottom right where it says stop video, or where it says the video.
Yeah.
Click on the arrow, it says choose virtual background. And
Yes.
that'll bring up all the different, you can do all of these. I happen to be wearing
You're
all.
showing off now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically, you just have to kind of put those in there, but wearing all green.
All greens. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Understood. Okay.
A little different. So.
Yeah.
David, I tried to figure out how to use leprechaun. I couldn't. That's a hard word.
Yeah, it's a hard word, but I decided to throw something Irish in there. Welcome, Elvis. We didn't get to hear from you tonight. Glad you made it. We had a few officers out.
Yeah, it's always good to be here. And actually make it for any of the roles. I was having a really, really busy day today, but hopefully, well, next week we have the
Board
the
after night.
board meeting, right? So yeah, I'll be.
Our area director will be there also.
Mhm.
If you want to sign up for something, that's great.
Yeah, I'll sign up for
No,
something.
available.
I'll try to make sure that I have my schedule cleaned up first, and then I'll join. But it's been a really hectic couple of weeks. Hopefully it normalizes in a few weeks down the road.
All right, everybody. I'm going to call it a night. You did a good job, Julian. You feel comfortable?
Right.
Made it through it. Once you make it through it, then the next one.
Yeah, it's a lot better once you've done it once.
Great job.
Yeah, great job, everyone. Julian, Wells, everybody.